there's a premier D-line talent that has become available because I don't think the Cleveland Browns are going to trade him. But Myles Garrett publicly announced today that he wants out. Myles Garrett is asking for a trade out of Cleveland. I think it was Albert Breer, probably some others too. I think Abdallah sent me a screenshot of an Albert Breer tweet. Breer said the Cleveland Browns have zero intention of trading Myles Garrett. Yeah, no kidding. Now, will he ultimately get what he wants? And how far is he willing to take this later this summer and into the fall? I really have no idea.
The GM for Cleveland said they wouldn't accept 2 first-round picks for him if they think that's going to be enough. That he wouldn't accept 2 first-round picks.
You got to keep going.
I think that's positioning.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's also positioning.
Yeah.
We want to position ourselves to say he's not going anywhere.
Right.
So we'll see. That's what the minimum is going to be, 2 first-round picks.
Well, you think that would be the minimum without a doubt, right?
29-year-old guy.
29. He'll be 30 at the end of next football season. Mm-hmm. Double-digit sacks in 7 consecutive seasons.
14.5 this past year.
Led the NFL in TFLs last year. Mm-hmm. And he has 25 or more quarterback hits in 4 straight seasons.
He's probably tired of being a Cleveland Brown.
That happens.
It could wear on you, man. It could wear on you. The orange and brown color can definitely wear on you.
You know, Yerk. You lived it.
Nobody wears that in the fashion industry.
Nobody.
You hardly ever see brown and orange together anywhere. Yeah. And then the all-white uniform. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, that all-white.
White on white.
You know, it's been a better run than poor Joe Thomas. They have gone to the playoffs a couple of times with Kevin Stefanski.
Yes, they have.
They've also missed the playoffs 3 times, though, in the last 5 years. So I could get why you'd be sick of it and why you'd want out, maybe.
The whole Deshaun Watson thing has been a disaster.
I was going to say, that doesn't help, right?
It's been a disaster.
Listen, we talked about it with Micah Parsons, and everybody immediately, the Bears should go out and, first of all, I don't think they will trade him, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny. And if it's starting at 2 first-rounders, as great as Myles Garrett is, man, it's just not something I don't know. If I were running the show, if I were running a team, I just don't want to give up multiple first-round draft picks in the NFL. I just don't want to do it. No. And I get Myles Garrett is great. I mean, I get it. He's great. Oh, you're never going to know if you'll get a player as good. You're getting a prospect. I get it. It doesn't matter. I just don't think it's a good idea to trade multiple first-round draft picks in the NFL.
26-year-old Myles Garrett is a different story.
Maybe.
29-year-old Myles Garrett, a little bit.
I know, but I don't think I'd even want to trade multiple first-round picks for Micah Parsons, and he's that 25-year-old that you're talking about. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Unless there's an influx of picks and you just don't care, and you believe you're one pass rusher away from being in the Super Bowl, that's the guy that's going to take them. And then those draft choices are going to be the 27th, 28th pick anyway.
Right.
So do you not mind giving up a 27th or 28th? And if that's where I'm picking, I don't mind then trading. Okay, I'll trade him, but I want your 2 seconds.
I'd like that.
Or a second. Give me your second. One of your seconds.
I feel like I have to be consistent with this and just draw the line in the sand. Like I just don't think it's a good idea trading multiple first-round picks. Now, you present the most logical thought process you could have as a GM in doing it, that he's the last piece.
Yep.
You're going to be great, and you don't mind giving up the 28th and maybe the 30th or the 26th and the 29th pick,
and then
because that means you're really, really good. And he's helping you.
I pit the Raiders versus the Browns. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. I pit them against each other and see where's my best deal. Nope, you're asking for too much. You go back. Nope, you're asking for too much. I'm going to go get Myles Garrett. Oh, you're going to pay more for him. No, I'm not. You pit the two of them against each other. What do you think? That's what you do. Try to make the best deal you can.
So you're the team, and then you're like playing both sides.
Trying to play both sides of them, and praying to God they don't communicate with each other.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Which is hard to imagine, but I see what you're saying.
Back and forth, back and forth.
I don't think the Bears are in position where they can even afford to do that, giving up.
I don't think they are either. I'm talking about anybody that's out there.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but a sexy name like Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons And it's easy to get yourself worked up into a lather. Yeah, of course you trade whatever. Trade the 10th pick. I'm not trading the 10th pick if I'm the Bears. I'm not doing that. I know he's great. I know it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not trading the 10th pick this year and another future first-round pick. And if it doesn't go well, like the way that Khalil Mack thing, unfortunately, it's not Khalil's fault, but it didn't work out the way the Bears thought. They weren't nearly as good as they thought. And it just seems like they still have a lot of holes to fill. And I want those picks. I want the young cost control player coming into the league at 22, 23 years old that you're going to get with the 10th overall pick. Just get it right. Find the right offensive lineman. Find the right pass rusher. That's your responsibility. I'll take that over the guy who will be 30 at the end of next year that you're paying a pretty penny to, as great as he is. So I more reside in the camp of I just wouldn't go down that road. Sometimes it works. It sure worked for Les Snead. And more often than not, it doesn't work. And I think teams, like, there's two buckets, right? You fall into you're desperate and it blows up on your face, or you truly are like this one player away and you've got this unbelievable head coach in Sean McVay and you do it and it works. But LA had a lot going for it. LA had Sean McVay. LA had Aaron Donald. You know, like they had a lot going for them. Mm-hmm. Was Cooper Kupp already there, Yerk? I'm trying to remember the timeline. Was Kupp?
Cooper Kupp's been there for 8 years,
so he's
9
definitely,
years.
Yeah, so like you had Cooper Kupp, right? You had Andrew Whitworth, right? Like, and so which bucket are you in? Are the Bears in? Do they fall in it? I don't think they do. I don't know. Sometimes it's worth the risk. And Les Snead would tell you, and he told us, yeah, it was worth the risk. But
to win the Super Bowl.
But,
yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's a big one to take. And I think more often than not, it doesn't work out for the team trading those draft picks. So that was the other big NFL news of the day. They had to come up with something. They're like, hey, which one of our players is a little ornery? Somebody told Goodell. They're like, Myles Garrett, I think. And he's like, call him up, tell him to demand a trade. The NBA is getting too many of our headlines in the last 48 hours. 312-332-ESPN if you want to ring us up on this Monday. We got the Lunch Rush coming up next.